I'm wondering, did you know that your dahlias can actually change colour while they're growing? Bet you didn't. Check this out. So this one, we refer to it as the mystery dahlia plant. The reason for that being, we didn't order this particular variety. It was one of those ones that sometimes happens where you get an accidental tuber. So although there's been lots of guesses on what variety it might be, and the most popular guess is spectacle, colour spectacle, we don't know for certain. But look at this. On the same plant. Very, very different. Now, there can be a few things that cause that. This type of thing here, where you've got an entirely different looking bloom on the same plant, that's most likely a genetic thing, okay? Think of it like this. Mummy and daddy plants, think of the genetics. Maybe this one here looks like mummy. This one, maybe that looks like grandma. Now here's the cool thing, it's very dahlia. Most plants, have 2 sets of chromosomes that can control this type of stuff. Dahlias have 8. So it's much more common for this kind of thing to happen in dahlias because of that. There are lots more things that can be affected. And here's the thing. I mentioned this is a genetic thing. So you could potentially be taking propagations from this part of the dahlia. And you might then be able to bring on plants that always look like this, rather than look like this. You'd have to go down and either be taking cuttings from the stem or the leaf, or maybe a bit of the tuber on this side, but there's no guarantee. It's all determined by just how much of that genetic material is stable in that section. But you know, could be a bit of fun. Because I've shown you that before. I've shown you guys before that you can do dahlia propagation in the early part of the year. It's free plants, but it makes it extra fun if you're doing it to deliberately try and get specifics of a plant. And these two are the plants from the propagations I did in the video at the start of the year. They're from my Yankee Doodle Dandies. So they're a bit smaller than these plants for obvious reasons. Those are plants that are a good few years old now. But yeah, they're coming on, starting to get the wee flowers going. This guy has no flowers yet, but he's got plenty of buds. Look at this, lots of buds. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he comes. But you can just imagine the size these guys will be next year and the year after. Propagation's fab. Now, you can also find things change on your plant because of temperature. Cooler temperatures can actually affect the colours. They can make colours much, much more vibrant. Or even if you've got patterns like this, they can make those much, much crisper and sharper. It's quite interesting. Now, there's another thing you might find, and we've got that going on the dahlias that are out front. It's not quite as dramatic as this, but it's still something to think about. Come on. So these are my glories. You guys have seen these a lot. At the minute, first look, they're these kind of poofy, fluffy, fabulous little orange balls of just gorgeousness. However, out here, they're in full direct sunlight. And the sun can actually affect the colour as well. Come and I'll show you. So do you see these then? The orangey colour? Well, these have always been my fabulously orange dahlias for the last few years. But this year I'm seeing much more of this yellow happening on lots and lots of the flowers. So some of them are much more yellow than others. And that's basically the sunshine. You know what it's like with a lot of things, clothes and pictures and even your books on your shelves. The sun can really affect the colour. It can almost drain the colour, fade it out. And the same thing can happen with your dahlias. Just lots and lots of that direct, strong sunlight can kind of slightly wash out or fade the colours. So we moved these plants this year. They used to be out in the back garden, and we've moved them out here where they get a lot more strong direct sunlight. And it's just changing the plants, much, much more yellow, much less orange this year. It's really interesting. So it's definitely something to think about, especially when you're doing your whole garden planning. Now, some dahlias are well known for this property of changing colour. And one of the most famous is Cafe au lait. And I think it's probably one of the most popular dahlias as well. It's one of these big fabulous ones. But it's well known from changing, and you'll get whites and creams and almost pale yellows and stuff over the years as situations change. I think you know what I'm going to say. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this. If I see any more flowers like this on this side of the plant, let's do some propagation from the tuber. Let's put that out there for a bit of excitement for next year. But we'll just have to wait and see. Thing is, the whole propagation thing I showed you this year, it's actually not a big drama. And as you can see, I've got at least 5 plants from it. So if you fancy trying that next year, here's your chance to prep ahead. There's a video of me doing it. Watch it, take your notes, go round your plants and pick the ones you might propagate from. And we can all have a go at it again at the start of next year. Hope that was interesting. See you next time, folks.